right, y'all. We are on the 5th episode of Guy Martin's How Britain Worked. And today we're looking at Trawler.
I assume just trawler means boat.
The last part of the last episode was about fishing, things like that. So
Shit. I'm here. That is, guys, in full transparency, in my youth, when I enlisted, right? And I took my ASVAB, they told me what jobs I could do, right? And one of them was boat marine mechanic for the Army. And I'm like, if I wanted to work on boats, I wouldn't have fucking gone to the Army.
right,
Dumbasses.
you go to the Navy.
The ground loves me. I love the ground. It's been there for me my whole life. Sometimes it gets too close when I fall, but it's very reliable, and I've never once almost drowned on land. So, fuck water, all things to do with water.
All right. Thanks for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
3, 2, 1.
200 years ago, the Industrial Revolution swept across the whole of Britain. It started in the cities, but it reached the coast as well.
You know, it was only the best in the world at making steam trains, best in the world at making cotton. It was the best in the world at making boats as well. Proper.
Guy's project this time is the boat that created the modern fishing industry and changed the nation's diet.
This is what the fuss is all about. A Brixham trawler. Just look how many sails we've got on there. That's a lot of sails, is that?
Before its invention, fishing was a small-scale local enterprise. But the new sailing trawler's speed and strength kick-started a revolution. It increased the catch by 20 times and was copied all over the world. It was dreamt up here in the humble Devon fishing village of Brixham. At one time, there was a fleet of 3,500 ships.
Wow.
Today, only a handful remain. And now the oldest surviving example needs some love and attention. Her name is Leader.
I know, it doesn't look much now, does it? Yeah, in fact, it doesn't look much at all, does it? It just looks like a load of polythene. But no, it will take shape. Give it a few more months. And, yeah, we'll have a sense there, an original 1840s Brixham trawler.
Over the next 5 months, Guy will help a team of dedicated shipwrights restore Leader, keeping alive one of the last connections to our world-beating shipbuilding heritage. They'll have to replace almost every part of the boat, from the rotting timbers to the rusting fixtures. They'll use the same methods as the shipwrights who built her 120 years ago, like traditional rope making, precision joinery,
Chiseling away there to a 16th of an inch. Oh, that's very accurate for something that big, isn't it, really?
and sheer muscle.
Right, same again.
Guy will also find out why working on a trawler was considered Britain's most dangerous job.
Can't cap. As a proper trawlerman, look, hardcore.
And he'll discover how the Brixham boats help to make fish and chips our national dish.
Do you want a bit of fish? Can I give you a bit of fish?
Vegetarian?
It's fish store.
I love him.
He's the
I'm
man.
a vegetarian. It's fish, though.
Yeah.
I love that. It's just so honest and pure. It's fish. Don't worry, it's not real.
Reminds me of the Ron Swanson bit where meat is a essential part of your diet, except fish. Fish is essentially a vegetable.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh God, Ron Swanson.
Yeah. So by the end of this, I think we'll appreciate fishermen and how they did their things a lot.
Oh
and,
yeah, man.
Yeah. So
It's just so. This is the, like, I want to say the OG industry.
yeah.
Fishing, yeah. Yeah, this
Mhm.
is the original shit right here.
Oh yeah. And yes, we know from the pub episode that we did, we know that that's not proper fish and chips what we had in that American pub.
Yeah, but why would you assume that we would have proper fish and chips in the U.S.?
Yeah, of course.
They gave it a shot as best as an American could.
Yeah, yeah. They're making it for an American palate, not
Yeah.
for a British palate.
Yeah.
Leader's restoration is a massive £500,000 project,
Wow.
funded partly by the National Lottery. For local boat builder Bob Can, overseeing the work is a dream job.
What makes Leader so special to you?
She means everything to me. She's lovely. She really is. Right? Honestly.
Go on.
She was built here in Brixham. She's a good hefty boat to work on. She's a lovely looking boat. She sails well. I look at the others and then you see Leader coming in and she looks real powerful and manly. She looks really good, she does. I just love the boat.
You do, don't
Yeah,
you?
I do, yeah, I do. And if anything ever
like
happened
that.
to her, I would be heartbroken.
Is that right?
Yeah, I like the boat, I do, really. And if anybody else, and if they ever give the work to anybody else, I'd be more than upset. I have put a lot of hard work and a lot of effort into that old girl.
She's not looking very healthy now, though, is she?
Coat of paint.
We're going to give her a lick of paint before she goes out.
Built in 1892, Leader fished British and Scandinavian waters until the 1960s, when she was turned into a sail training boat. After years of wear and tear, she now needs a full restoration, and if the team are successful, she'll be used to teach young people how to sail once again.
Oh, nice.
Look at that. Look at that grit. Heap of rotten timbers. You see it? Leader, she is knackered. Yeah, she needs doing, doesn't she? She does. We need to keep her going.
It's Guy's first day as an apprentice shipwright, and his work will begin inside the hull.
Well, get on the thing first. Hey? All right. You coming in then? Come on, you've got to come in, haven't you? Stuck in. Oh. All right, lads. But yeah, you got some work on here. We've got no masts at the moment, as you can see. The boys are flat out getting her ready. I mean, there's 6 months' worth of work here. 6 months' worth of work. You know, but look at her. It's massive, isn't it? It is. Look at it. It's the Ferrari of the trawler world. In 1840s, mind. In 1840s. Yeah, 80 foot long. Yeah. But she's a bit sorry for herself at the moment. There's a bit of work to do, so yeah, I best get stuck in.
Shipwright Andy Savage is in charge of retraining the truck mechanic and making a carpenter of him.
Well, where do you want me then?
Well, you could give us a hand fitting that beam if you like.
Yeah, it'll do for me.
Right. The first essential task is bracing the hull. New crossbeams need to be fitted along the length of the boat.
It wasn't just the speed that Brixham trawlers were famous for, it was the strength. You see, because they had right big oak beams like this.
Wow.
You see, and that's what we're going to fit today. 22 of these oak beams to fit in.
Okay.
Wow. Look down your toes, isn't it? Hey, a tradesman, aren't they? It's not going to look any different besides the flat caps and the coats, is it, really?
Eventually, a new deck made of Douglas fir will be laid on top of the beams, so they need to be perfectly level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
So that each beam sits flush, Guy needs to carve a slot by hand into the shelf.
Now we've got to take
Oh
it down.
my god.
It's about 5/8 of an inch.
Oh, you're an imperial man.
That's it, old-fashioned. isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a bit knackered with that. What's an apprentice shipwright?
Team maker.
A ship wrong. What do you reckon?
I love
The
that.
Brixham trawler
Man.
I love that. What's an apprentice shipwright? A ship wrong. I love that. That's good.
Oh man, I don't know, man. Just something seems homey about this town. I don't know, man. I've always liked those like maritime seaside towns. Maybe it was from certain scenes in Thomas the Tank Engine, or living in Annapolis, Maryland for 8 years of my life.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. That I would love to like, maybe put this on the trip in
Oh
June.
hell yeah, that would be awesome, man. You know, it's like this is very important. You know, I think having that like nautical museum, nautical history, the rich nautical history that the UK has, not just naval history, but just boats. Like everyone knew, like, hey, UK's boats were the best, regardless of where they were.
Yeah.
That's what
British
helped
waters
build
and
their.
Scandinavian waters.
That's what helped
Yeah.
build their empire so massive.
Yes, especially in
so
the Industrial Revolution.
yeah, and so I'm just. I think this is. It's nice. It's interesting to see the. It's a different world, right?
Yeah.
Being a mechanic, you have the same measurements. Then you switch trades. Measurements are all different.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
different.
that's
It's
gotta
it's
be
kind of
annoying.
crazy. Kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
So this is gonna be interesting to see if he picks it up because it's just a whole different amount of. It's like for me, there were two trades, right? There's like mechanics, auto shop in school, and then there was carpentry. There were
Yeah.
two paths. I went carpentry because I was close to home. But man, sometimes I wish that I was on the mechanic side of things.
Working on machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Design led the world. It used twice as many beams as a normal boat, making the trawlers strong enough to withstand high seas. The beams are slightly wider fore than they are aft, giving the boat what sailors called a cod head and a mackerel tail. It's a streamlined design that offered stability and speed, and took skill to build.
Well, once I've been here, I must have been on it for kind of 2 hours, eh? And I'm still not near. Well, I am. I think I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, eh? But 1840s, there was knocking up one of these every 3 months. All right, there might have been 50 blokes doing it, but one every 3 months, that's some going, that, ain't it? So what do you reckon to the boys of the day, then? Like, there was only 3 months to build something like this.
I know, just
All done by hand.
all done by hand. It's just tough as old boots, really, isn't it?
Proper grafters,
That
eh?
hand's like a monkey's foot.
Leader holds a special place in the heart of her skipper, John Cuthbertson.
You lived on it.
Yeah,
Lived on it for 6 years.
Yeah.
Oh, so you do know, you are quite attached to it then.
yeah, got a soft spot for this one.
You have.
After 4 hours' work, Guy is ready for Andy to judge his carpentry and see if the
go.
beam will sit flush.
Moment
What do you
of
reckon, Andy?
Here we go.
What do you reckon, bro?
Both ends of the beam need to fit snugly. Being just a few thousandths of an inch out will cause a weak spot.
So go on, Andy, what do you reckon? Somewhat's like.
I reckon it's spot on.
Happy enough?
Yeah. All the joints are tight.
Yeah?
Pretty fair. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, so go on, what we're looking at there. How long is this going to be in there for?
Well, it should last for another 40, 50 years.
40, 50 years?
Yeah.
And that end will probably last 60.
Cheeky bugger. What do you want me next?
Next one.
Next one, right. Right, I'll get cracking then. First day building ships. Oh, I still wouldn't profess to be a joiner. No. But, John and Andy persevered with us a bit. And, yeah, persevered. I right, enjoyed it, really. You could see the fruits of your labour, But I've only just scratched the surface. You see the rest of the work to do to it.
Hey, you didn't mess up.
Yeah.
You didn't mess up. That's all you
This
can
is-
really ask.
In the world of carpentry, and I know this is kind of crazy, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I'm telling you, it makes no sense, but it makes all the sense. It took him 4 hours to do that little bit of work, but guess what? No one ever has to do is fix that little bit of work he did because
Yeah,
it
Didn't have to
saves
go
time.
back.
Yep,
Yeah,
it saves
yeah.
time.
Hell yeah.
Guy Martin is in the South Devon town of Brixham, helping with the £500,000 restoration of the boat that transformed fishing in the Industrial Revolution and changed the country's eating habits forever.
All right there.
Yeah.
The boat's speed and strength let trawlermen fish far offshore for the first time. Guy's now got the chance to follow them and try the job for himself.
All right to get on, mate. Yeah.
He'll spend the day with Ginge and his son Craig, who are in charge of the oldest trawler still fishing from Brixham. Their typical 14-hour shift begins at 5 a.m.
So how far are we going to go out today?
Just off Berry Head here.
That's Bury Head. Is that's Bury Head
That's
there?
Berry Head.
Berry.
Berry.
Berry Head.
B-E-R-R.
Bury. Yeah, what a day, though. You wouldn't beat that for a day there, would you? Do you reckon you've got the best job in the world?
No.
No.
No, by far.
The fishing trawler has always been a hostile working environment. It's tough physical work and involves dangerous machinery. The trawlermen are constantly at the mercy of the elements.
Yeah.
Get beside of it. Get soaking wet before you start your day. Soaking wet for the rest of the bloody day as well.
Yeah.
In the 19th century, it was just the same. The only difference then was that many crews employed child apprentices.
They'd be signed up to have like a 10-year contract to the skipper. You know, they'd start off as the cook, then they'd move up to be a deckhand, and it'd take them, 10 years to get to be the skipper of the ship. They could start as the apprentice at 11-year-old. Yeah, 11-year-old, imagine an 11-year-old living on a ship for weeks at a time with 5 grown men. Yeah, you'd grow up fast, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Modern-day boats have motorised winches. 19th century crews had to haul the heavy nets and sails by hand.
Is that all right?
Yeah, you keep doing well, yeah.
And how far will these go out then?
These are about 60 fathom.
60 fathom, what's that?
A fathom is 6 foot. So you did the maths, how many
A fair bit then, fair bit. That us?
Job done.
Yeah?
We're fishing.
We're fishing now. Yeah.
Fishing.
It was a right well-paid job at the time. Loads better paid than miners and factory workers. And it needed to be. It was you needed danger money.
The threat of
Yeah, that's probably why. Another thing that's on my TikTok feed and just I've seen in general is fishermen's salaries and like working on oil rigs. Those are like $500 an hour or something like that. Paid really well because it's dangerous as hell.
Fuck yeah. And you
Yeah.
can't have any sort of normal home life.
No,
Like you take one of those jobs as a legacy job, as I am going to fall on this grenade for the benefit of my child or whoever.
yeah,
Like that is not a you thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like talk about burnout. Oh my God, I couldn't
Yeah.
imagine.
I mean, I heard like in Alaska when they're fishing or fishing for king crab, like they only work like 2 or 3 weeks out of the year,
And they make their whole year.
they make their whole year off of those 2 or 3 weeks.
But I mean, 2 or 3 weeks fishing in Alaska. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Bro,
yeah.
it's like, it'd be like gator hunting in Louisiana,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
You work a month out of the year and you make your whole salary, but you're gator fishing.
yeah.
like-
You're gator fishing.
Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Mhm.
I appreciate the hustle. I appreciate it. This is not for me. This is one of the jobs I appreciate I happily appreciate on this side of
Yeah,
the internet.
yeah. Happily appreciate it with some melted butter, some lemon, a little Old Bay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
drowning was ever present. In the late 1800s, the death rate was 10 times worse than mining, making it the Industrial Revolution's most dangerous job.
Look at that, what's that? 3 foot high, 2 foot high? Get it wrong, you're slipping up, you're going over the side. That'd be me. So this is quite a calm day then?
It's not rough. It's not rough anyway.
Not rough, it's not rough, boys. Hey? They're all clinging on. They've all got a bit of white in their faces. It's quite calm, this. Hey?
Wow, look at that.
Quite calm.
Oh my God.
In high seas, the work can be terrifying. In the 1870s, an apprentice trawlerman from Grimsby was officially recorded as having been frightened to death.
Makes sense.
So what's this doing? This is bringing the back end of the net?
Yeah, this is bringing the bit of the net in with all the fishing.
Yeah.
The cod end.
It was Brixham men who first invented what was known as beam trawling. Since medieval times, trawling had been done by small boats confined to estuaries and harbours, using tiny nets. But the Brixham trawlers were powerful enough to pull nets that were 20 times larger and 300 metres below the surface, without having their rear dragged down by the weight of the load.
Wow.
Some fishermen's tasks haven't changed in 200 years, because every catch needs sorting by type.
What's that fella there?
Lemon salt. Put that
That's
on
lemon
there.
salt. Oh, we like the orange dots on them. They're the place.
That's what you call a fluke. It's of the place family. Put that one up there in the mixed one. That's the place.
Place.
That's undersized.
Come back on his big
Squid.
Bloody hell. What use is he then?
Nice.
Is he? Yeah?
Yeah, lovely squid.
Once sorted, the fish then have to be gutted to keep them fresh on the journey to market.
No. See ya?
No. This is no... Hang on, what?
Yeah, nearly. No, you're just turning your knife the wrong way. Turn it the other way so you're flicking the gut out from the other way.
Right.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, that's it.
So middle of winter out, you're out on deck doing that. Don't matter what it's doing, day and night.
No, Dane, that's got to be done. You can't sell fish with guts in it, so every single fish has got to be gutted.
This is the same back then. You went like Victorians and that. Don't matter
Oh,
what.
yeah, there's only one way to gut them. No different.
They wouldn't have brought them back to shore with the guts in.
No.
It's not going to be flapping in a minute, I'll tell you. Putting up a fight, this man.
Right, how's it going?
Slow.
Yeah, you done it. Well done.
Back at the harbour, Guy's catch is landed, ready to be sent to auction.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm sure I'm okay never doing that whole gutting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good, interesting that with all the technology that has come, it's still old school how you do that.
Hey, I love that. I love that. It's like, okay, you catch it, you clean it. And then you appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm. And you bring it to market.
Yep. So auction. This is the part right here that always like absolutely amazes me. The next part there, hopefully you're going to show, is like the auction of the fish, of the catch of the day. Who's bidding? Like,
Yeah.
I want to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just looking at this picture here. Like, it's quite similar. You say it? Well, that's what I've been doing with Ginge and Craig today. That's a tough day's work, is that? You know about it.
By the end of the 19th century, trawlers were spending 8 weeks at sea, landing huge catches as far afield as Grimsby, the Bristol Channel and the Irish Sea. It was a gold rush. Today we're living with the troubling legacy of that overfishing and dwindling stocks. But back then, the main concern was how to feed a hungry nation. For years, the dangers of deep-sea trawling were deemed a necessary evil. Nobody thought anything could be done about the death toll. Not until one Victorian gentleman had a flash of inspiration.
We had 1,800 shipwrecks a year. I mean, that's not good, is it? That's not good. Yeah. This is where Captain Ward came in. He says, we've had enough. Too many people killed. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to make a life jacket.
Captain Ward was an inspector with the lifeboat service. He invented the life jacket in 1854. It's worn here by Henry Freeman. He was the only member of the crew to survive when a lifeboat capsized in Whitby in 1861. He was the only one wearing one of Ward's life jackets.
Yeah, he looked a pillar, but he lived. So, happy campers. But really, it's just a jacket made with cork.
Guy wants to find out for himself if the crude design can really keep him afloat.
We've got all these lumps of cork, and we've got an Ivy's jacket. I'm sure Mr. Ward's jacket looked out like this, but still. And we're going to strap a few bits of cork to it. Now, I'm not much of a tailor, but I'm going to have a go.
There we go.
What do you reckon? Is it looking so much? No, yes.
Ward knew that cork was light enough to wear, but was also buoyant.
It's all right talking about all these things and you know, and reading books and you know, just reciting what's written in these books. We don't want any of that. We're going to try it. We're going to try it, aren't we? Yeah, it's all right. Talk's cheap, isn't it? We need to do, you know. Hang on. I'll take my boots off first. What's the worst that can happen, eh? I don't know. What's the worst that can happen?
Still here.
Oh, it's bloody cold. If I'm not sinking. Oh, it's bloody cold. Oh, heck. You tried and tested. It's ripped the bloody zip out, man. Another Victorian.
Well, he survived. He didn't
Very
drown.
true. Very true. Yeah, like, yeah, very true.
But don't jump in the water in the winter time. Okay.
He's Guy Martin, man.
He's Guy Martin.
That's his approach to everything. He just
Yeah.
cannonball in. Like, it's
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. That's
I
just
feel
how it
like
is.
his producers didn't even know that was gonna happen. They're like, oh, what? What are you about to do? Okay, go for it.
Yeah. Shoot.
An invention, eh? Them boys knew what they was doing, didn't they? Do you think they'll bring any socks with me?
The next day, Guy goes back to work on Leader. One of the most important innovations on the Brixham trawlers was their strong double-skinned hull, which made them safer if they hit rocks.
How you keeping? You all right?
If the inside of the hull isn't correctly fixed to the outside, Leader will sink.
Happy enough?
Yep.
That means drilling around 200 holes so the two wooden sections can be bolted together.
Got the right sort of angle, do you think?
Brixham trawlers used 2 layers of larch planks along their hull. The planks on the outside were 3 inches thick, and on the inside they were 2 inches thick, all bolted to oak frames called futtocks.
Oh.
And when it was all tied together, it made the boat immensely stiff and able to withstand the harshest seas. Victorian shipwrights loved English oak because it was so strong and it lasted well. But it was also very hard to drill.
We're getting a fair idea what them boys was up against. So, yeah. So, you say what was he using, John, back in the, 120 years ago when they was making it, originally?
They would be using a hand auger, which is a long piece of steel, not dissimilar to the drill bit there, but it would be wound up by hand and just get winding it into the timber.
You'd be there an hour or two, wouldn't you? Hey?
To make sure each bolt fits into the hull perfectly, the hole must be countersunk, which means first filling the hole in again.
We need to make a plug, which will fill about an inch of that,
Yeah.
so you can restart your drill from the outside.
Right.
Yeah?
No,
It will become,
no, I don't think...
It's clear as mud.
Yeah.
It'll all become apparent as soon as you fit it.
Right.
Trust me.
So if I get this round then?
You make that round.
Yeah, spot on. So just tap her in then?
Yeah, just tap it in an inch or two till it's tight. And that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, we cut this flush.
And I still can't really see what we're going to do. Because we're going to drill it again from the outside.
Yeah. Now, the reason we've done this, if we look at the next drill bit, drill a much bigger hole. Now, if we just tried to drill that, it would just be rattling around inside the hole, just tearing the timber to shreds. Now, we know that if we just put the point into the centre of your dowel, it's not going to rattle round. We can then just drill that out.
I can see what you're doing now. Right, don't get any dust in my tea.
That should do it there, I think. Spot on.
Spot on. Tap.
The bolt can't be inserted straight away. It first needs to be prepared to protect it from the tannic acid in the oak.
Often you will have ships that are known as iron sick. So there's
Iron sick?
Iron sick. So there's no rot in the timbers. What has happened is the acids within the oak corrodes the steelwork. So, you know, and boats have sank because of it.
To avoid iron sick, the bolts are painted with bitumen.
So,
And John has another traditional trick up his sleeve to guarantee a watertight seal. String.
So you see that? That cotton round there, you know, when that gets wet, it's going to expand. There's no way water's going to get in down here, so I'll put that in then. Good man. Yeah, spot on. Spot on.
Huh.
You got a hammer? Oh, all right, big hammer.
Yeah, big hammer!
you are through.
Yeah?
Yeah, but we're not finished yet.
Oh!
The bridal punch. I'm trusting you.
Yeah.
I'm trusting you, Ty. Yeah.
Oh, heck, there you go.
The methods that you're using are exactly the same as it was and has been for centuries.
All right. Well, that ain't coming out of there in a hurry. You see, it's just closing all that gap up there.
That should do you, really.
Happy enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
Spot on. Spot on.
Right.
That's one done.
That's one. A couple of hundred more to go.
Right.
Before lunch.
Shipwrights like John Cuthbertson built trawlers like Leader in Brixham up until 1926. The local fleet remained largely sail-powered until the Second World War. But elsewhere in Britain, where coal was more readily available than on the south coast, fishing fleets began to turn to steam power. Grimsby had over 400 steam trawlers. They could fish as far away as Iceland, and the size of Britain's catch grew once again, this time sevenfold. The UK's position as the world's largest and most successful fishing nation was guaranteed.
Man, so the two parts there. One, it's given me a better appreciation, and add that to the list of things I didn't know how they were made. You know, how boats, wooden boats, were made back then, and also like it's just something I didn't think about is the transition from wind power to, you know, steam and other power, that kind of thing.
There are things, there are elements that just for me are just so, like, you put a steam engine that requires the burning of coal on a wooden ship, and there's pressure and shit's going like this and waves like that. To me, you're on a effing bomb, dude.
Yeah.
Because, like, remember just the care and the delicateness of the steam engine itself, from our Dibna journey, from the beginning of this journey right here. It's like everything is precise, and then you try to get that in the water. Like, you crazy.
I mean, hopefully by then they had started making ships out of, you know, metal as opposed to wood, so that it didn't burn out at sea.
Well, no, I was just thinking because, that there's an element of that. But I was just thinking because of the boiler and how much the ship has to move, and there's give and take. In the boiler, there is no room for give and take. That thing needs to be solid at all costs. And if it's not, you have a boom. You have a big boom.
Mm-hmm. Imagine, like you're saying, high tide and bad rough waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then your coal, you have to still shovel coal in that thing. And what if you're like this and you got to shovel coal in that? Shit's falling out. Like, dude, that's a perfect storm right there. Fuck that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Back at Leader, Guy works into the night to keep the project on schedule, removing the rotten deck on the front quarter of the boat.
Right, same again.
A few days later, the new deck is laid and ready for its cotton-laced joints to be waterproofed.
There you go.
Can I have a go?
Yes.
Boat builders traditionally use pine pitch to seal decks, but the job had to be repeated every year.
Deal.
Should we have another lap down there?
Yeah.
The modern rubber mastic Guy's using will last for 10 years.
Wow. How satisfying is that?
Yeah. Oh, you can do that for a lifetime, couldn't you?
Leader is a lot closer to setting sail once again, but the hardest job of the restoration, erecting her new mast, is yet to come.
Ooh.
That's going to be interesting.
Guy Martin is helping to restore Leader, the oldest surviving Victorian fishing trawler. He's now investigating what is perhaps the boat's most enduring legacy. In the 1880s, Britain's trawling fleet was catching 300,000 tons of fish a year.
Wow.
And the cities were full of the new generation of industrial workers, living on the breadline and looking for good, affordable food. But when the railways linked the fishing ports to the rest of the country, for the first time ever, freshly caught fish could be delivered to the cities quickly and cheaply.
Hi.
Often the most direct route to market was taken, with the fish cooked and sold on the street. Now Guy's following in the footsteps of the Victorian fish fryers and is going to see if Brixham still has an appetite for fish cooked at the roadside.
We've got a frying pan with a bit of oil. We're going to stick him in. Any idea how long we're going to do it for? I don't know if this is how they used to do it. It's the authentic way. It's what they used to do. Cook it in the street and sell it in the street. Hey?
Fish fryers were often the former coal stokers from steamships. They were enterprising characters who spotted that fish had become fashionable.
It was big business. It was big business. Billingsgate Market in London. Oh yeah, cat skin's a bit hard to get through. We never got a better knife. But it was massive there. You know, there was 300. You're in an area of 3 miles, 3-mile radius. There was 300 fried fish sellers. I've made a pig's ear of that, sorry.
The stench of old oil filled Victorian streets, but for the fish fryers, there was a benefit to that pungent aroma.
The idea of the batter originally was to hide the rotting fish. You know, obviously, fish left by itself for a day or two is gonna start honking, isn't it? So, you know, what they'd do, they'd roll it in the flour, you know, get it in the frying pan and to hide the smell, you see, so you could sell your rotten fish off, you know, with a bit of batter on it. Thinking, up there for thinking, down there for dancing. Hey? I don't think there's anything in there that's gonna kill us, is there? There's no wrong with that. That's lovely, that.
I don't know, man. That doesn't look too appetizing to me.
Well, you know, nothing is better than freshly caught fish. Like it's
Well, yeah.
when you know where it came from, that's awesome. But I gotta know where it came from. I gotta see you catch that thing to eat that fish.
Right, right. And luckily that was more than likely caught like very
Yeah.
close to where they were. But man, it doesn't look very seasoned too well. Like
It's not going to be, man. Not out there.
no,
It's not going to be. They're not going to have some Cajun seasoning or blackened anything. It's here. It is. Here's the flour. Here's the oil. Have
Yeah.
at it.
yeah.
Like, dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. My bar maybe is not set that high, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of fish. I do like salmon. That is my go-to. Not
Oh,
tilapia or nothing. None of the other punk white fishes out there.
I love whitefish.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I eat the stuff that buck and grizzly bears eat.
And I love salmon and tuna. Here's the thing, the tuna. I don't like cooked tuna or overly cooked because you cook it past rare, it's basically catfish.
Yeah.
It's either a rare tuna steak or sushi.
I'm there with you. I'm there with you.
Yeah, yeah. Wonder if any of these towns are into, you know, making their catch out of sushi into sushi.
Oh, that'd be interesting. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Having been cooked the old-fashioned way,
Oh, presentation's everything, isn't it?
the fish is now going to be hawked around town the old-fashioned way, from a wooden tray slung around the neck.
One plate.
All right, mate. You want to try a bit of food? You want to give this bit of fish a whirl? Do you want a bit of fish? Can I give you a bit of fish?
Vegetarian?
It's fish store.
I'm vegetarian. Coffee vegetarian.
Go on, get a big hand. Don't be shouting. I told him Jamie Oliver's got notes on me.
It's actually quite nice, actually.
I see.
Oh,
See?
okay.
Surprising.
Yeah. Give her a whirl. Freshly made, only 10 minutes ago. Well, go on.
That's all right, isn't it?
It's all right, isn't it? Your dog wants a bit. He's a brave man. Yeah, so I'm going to try some fish. Go on, give it a whirl. Let us know what you reckon. There, we've just fried it on the street there.
Very nice.
No bother. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
It's quite nice, that.
I've tasted worse. I said, what do you reckon?
Yeah.
It's all right.
Tasted worse, but tasted better as well.
Yeah. Well, compliments this man, isn't it? Hey? A bit of a success, really. You know. All right, it was it was the Victorian working class meal, wasn't it? But I tell you, number one Victorian working class meal. But I tell you what, I think it could be now. You know, you've been out there. You know, it didn't take a lot of selling, did it? Pretty lovely though. Lovely.
The other half of our national dish, the chips, was invented by the French in the 1870s. But Guy seems rather less curious about that fact.
Tell me he's British without telling me.
Hey, I brought the fish. Just get the chips. What kind of chips? Just the frozen ones. Whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Like,
Yeah.
Fish. It's about fish right now. God.
You know, maybe I'll make a concession. Because that was a freshly caught fish and out of salt water, maybe it didn't need a lot of seasoning. It became seasoned already.
Yeah. It looked as good as that kind of fish would get.
Yeah. If the townspeople said it was good, then I'll believe him.
Sure. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Back at Leader, the team seize upon a spell of dry weather to do one of the most important jobs.
We're going to winch us up on that.
Waterproofing the hull with oakum fibre.
First of all, we've got to caulk this seam, which means seal it from the water, but it's still got the old oakum in between it.
Right.
So we have to get rid of all that and then put fresh oakum in.
What's the oakum then? What?
That's the oakum.
Like like a string?
Yeah, that's just off a hemp plant. We do that just by tapping the old out, really. And the iron's shaped so it doesn't go too deep into the seam. It will pull itself out as you tap it.
Right.
And that's got a chasing iron. Right, what we want to do now is to tap the oakum into the seam, just tap it in and twist it in.
Spot on. Can I have a go?
Yeah, of course you can. And just tap it in. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
The hemp plant had another vital use in the maritime industry. Rope. Leader needs 1 mile of the stuff, and Guy wants to use a traditional method to make his own contribution. There's no better place to do that than the historic dockyard in Chatham, Kent. Hundreds of years ago, they made ropes for the Navy here. Today, it's still going strong, making rigging for traditional and modern ships.
Well, it's Grade 1 listed, is this place. Grade 1 listed, I mean, that's the same as, like Buckingham Palace. I'd rather look round here. Fascinating. Ah, yeah. It's a fair length, isn't it? You can't see the bottom, can you? 1/4 of a mile long. Well, I reckon. Wow. When this was built, the biggest brick building in the world. Okay, that's fair going, that.
Wow.
Okay? Biggest brick building in the world.
The 200 men who worked here in the 1800s made 5,000 tons of rope for the Navy, with just a few state-of-the-art machines to help.
What's that there? What's that do? Look at it. Looks like something out of Jason and the Argonauts. Or Mad Max.
Master rope maker Fred Cordier has worked here for 50 years. He'll help Guy make a rope that can tow Leader out to sea.
Now then, Fred, how's it going?
All right.
Pleased to meet you, mate. How you keeping?
I've seen you on telly.
No to do with me, mate. No to do with me. Crime Watch, maybe.
Rope making is all about twisting fibres together for strength. This machine combines yarns of hemp and manila before they're twisted into a strand using the Maudsley forming machine. It takes 3 strands to make 1 rope.
It's just a bit back to front, walking backwards, steering it backwards. You know, you have to go left to go right, right to go left. I can see the end now. I can see the end. We're all right. We're all right.
That strand is now ready to be twisted together with 2 others. They're laid out on trestles to stop them tangling.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're wound together on the Traveller.
The fibres that make the yarn, they're spun in an anti-clockwise direction, and then we have the yarns that make the strand, they're spun in a clockwise direction, and then we have the strand that makes the rope, which is spun in an anti-clockwise direction. And all those actions of anti-clockwise versus anti-clockwise all fight against each other and hold the rope together.
Fred uses just his touch to make sure the 3 strands are woven correctly.
He's controlling the speed of this, so we get a nice constant twist across the length of the rope. So there's a brake. You see that there? That's a brake pedal. Fred's got a brake pedal there. I mean, Fred's been doing this. How many years you been down here?
50.
50 years. So it's just all on feel then.
Yeah.
And this is just the same way that the boys were doing it back in the day. They was making ropes for that ship of Nelson's Victory. And this would be the same way they were doing it.
Yeah.
Just the same.
Exactly, yeah.
That's it. That's it done.
That's it. Finished.
The rope's done. Rope's made.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that all then?
I'm on mate Dave here.
All right, Dave.
Yeah. Add that to the list. Things didn't know how they were made.
Crazy.
And big ass rope.
Wow, man.
Not
Look
just
how-
regular rope,
look
big
how-
ass rope.
Look how big that place is, dude.
Yeah, yeah. That
Good
that was
God.
serious business right there.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
He's going to do the test for you.
What, the breaking strain?
Yep.
Every rope is tested to see how much weight it can take before it snaps.
Hey, go on, go on.
Right, here you go.
A sample length is stretched by hydraulic rams.
Hello.
Normally, a rope like this would withstand 6.8 tons.
I'm a bit nervous. I'm waiting for something. I like a bit of that. So what we got there? What we got? Oh, that's done over 10 ton, that.
Yeah, about 12,000 kilos.
12,000 kilos, about 12 ton, that. There you go. Good bit of spinning work there. Hey, good bit of rope. Thank you very much.
Leader weighs 120 tons, but the rope should be strong enough to tow her when she's floating.
Right, so that's us then.
Can you weigh it for them and pack it, please?
Yeah, spot on.
Back in Brixham, the covers are off and it's time for the restoration's toughest job.
Here we go.
Leader was larger than any fishing boat that had gone before, and her single biggest part was the mast. Installing it is called mast stepping.
It's not going to be a 2-minute job. It's a long old thing, 80 foot long. 2 lorry trailers. 2 lorry trailers, 80 foot. Yeah. Made up the road in Totnes. Yeah, I made out of Douglas Fair, and 15,000 quid. A lot of money. We don't want to be dropping it in the drink, do we? No, 15,000 quid. Say just over a ton. What's all? Just over. Ton and a quarter. And if we did drop it, it'd float though, wouldn't it? It would. Made of wood, it'd float.
The mast needs to be guided into a hole in the deck. In the 19th century, this would have been done entirely by a hand-operated crane and pulley system. It needed great strength and precision.
Yeah, this is like the power train of the voice. It's the engine. It's the boat's engine. Getting the mast and the rigging and the sails and all that adrift, that is its engine. So that needs to be right.
The base of the mast sits in a 4-inch slot in the keel, on top of a coin to bring good luck. This one has been in place since the last time the mast was replaced.
1922. You see it on the bottom? You see it on the bottom? Where do you want it to be? You're right there. It's on the bottom, just there. You see it? Whoa. Whoa. Righty-o. That better.
Okay, straight down.
Whoa. Whoa. Righty-o.
Oh, it's a nice fit in there, isn't it?
It should be. Made to measure.
You could hear it going in.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
like
tight.
the interference, it's like an interference bit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now the mast needs to be tensioned with ropes to secure it.
Hey, guys.
Operations manager Nick Legg ties an old-fashioned prusik sling, still the fastest way to hoist a rope.
Is this it? They won't want you using that now, this brushing?
Well, no, just people don't know
Why
about
would they
it.
not teach that?
People don't know about it. It doesn't get taught, so people don't learn about it, and then people don't use it, and that's how stuff is lost, how techniques are lost. This rig is how it would have been 120 years ago. It's nothing changed. So
By teaching it, we keep the history alive, but also the techniques. So we can sail the boats.
The tensioning ropes are covered in tallow, so they don't snag when pulled tight.
Still now, like standard grease, you know, non-synthetic grease is all animal fat still, I suppose, yeah, same as that, ain't it?
The mast is pulled straight, and it's set perfectly.
Not bigger than me.
Finally, an eager volunteer is needed to disconnect the crane from the top of the mast.
That must have had some trust in them, boys. Do you know that was about 60 foot up here?
That's a Dibna move right there.
Yeah, it is.
That's a Dibna move.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh.
Everything about this so far has been intense. like, you know, the crane part, just moving that big ass thing in there.
It's so much. It's just like nothing is light.
No, hell no, hell no. Shoot.
I reckon.
About that.
About 60, yeah, about 64. Get down a bit, mate. Yeah, you're all right, mate. Right. Get down with the crane. Yeah, smart. Ah, lovely day for it. Hey, thank you very much.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Smart. Cool, man.
Cheers, well done.
Leader is ready for action.
Here we go.
After a 5-month restoration, the oldest surviving Brixham fishing trawler has been saved. The woodwork, hull and rigging have all been renewed or refurbished. And today's the day Guy will put to sea with her.
We're here in June, middle of the British summer, getting wet through. But we're not made of sugar, are we? We're very British, and yeah, we've come to see Leader, and that's her there. Yeah, she's looking like the day she was new. That's a massive job to restore that. We're not just talking, you know, kick the tyres and a brush of paint. I mean, that was wooden beams, masts, sails, decks, yeah, decks. There's a lot of work gone on there. Hey, you wouldn't do it in a tea break. A lot of work. No, I'm quite proud. I'm honoured to be able to, you know, given the opportunity to be able to work on stuff like that. And I just think I just feel quite honoured. It's all right, coming out with all that spiel. I want to get on it. Come on, let's have a go. As soon as I got on board, no mincing about, no cups of tea. John says, no, leave the bros, get on with it. All right, well, no chance for a cup of tea. You always got to have a cup of tea, but no, when John's about, no, get on the job, main sail up. Where do you want me with this?
The huge mainsail has to be laced in tight to its gaff mast, so that when it's hoisted up, it keeps its shape rather than loosely flapping in the wind.
And you've got to do that another 35 times.
Oh, you're right at that. Is that tight enough for that?
Yeah, that's good.
Brixham sits in a north-facing cove, sheltered from the prevailing southwesterly winds. Sailboats have always had to be towed out to sea, either by steam tugs or human power. So 16 members of the local paint and rowing club have volunteered to help.
Leader, she's a working boat, so we're going to launch her in the original way. We're going to get a couple of gig boats, which are just rowing boats, a couple of them, and we're going to row her out to sea, put up the sails, and get cracking.
Coming through.
Come on, watch this then.
The crucial link will be the rope Guy helped make in Chatham.
How's it going? All right.
But nobody's totally sure if it or the rowing crews can take the strain of Leader's weight.
So you know this weighs 120 odd tons, don't you?
Yeah, that's all right.
You're going to be all right? She's all right, she's happy enough. Oxford, Cambridge boat race, we've seen all the rowing business, haven't we? To be honest, it looked quite easy, doesn't it? But it wasn't as easy as it looked.
After a fight to break the pull of the tide, the rope eventually goes taut, and the rowers tow Leader into deep water.
Oh, the guy's on
we needed some wattage to be coming out of our arms to be able to pull a 120-ton Brixham trawler out past the wall, and we did. Great.
Well done, mate.
Thanks very much. See you later. Cheers, man. Cheers. Spot on. No, but right, enjoyed it, yeah. Good crack, bit of banter on there and all. Bit of banter. Yeah, we've got her out now. It's what's the crack now, John?
We're going to set sail.
Are we?
The first task is to hoist the sails,
God.
starting with the mizzen at the back.
Like portrait motion at us.
With no mechanical winches, it's a physical two-man job called sweating and tailing.
Keep your whole body weight on it and drive it to the pin.
She's happy.
That's it. There we go. So that's like the warm-up for the main.
Right.
Yeah?
No
Oh
problem.
my god.
Originally, Leader would have been crewed by just 3 or 4 men and 1 boy, and they'd have to raise their trawler's 6 sails by themselves in choppy waters and lashing gales.
This is only the mainsail. There's one to go at the top and there's 2 more to go on the front. So we've got a lot more. Hey, it's massive. It's 3,000 odd square feet of canvas. That's a lot of sails, that was, wasn't it?
That was a lot of yucking on ropes. Yeah.
Andy and John worked for 5 months to reach this special moment. Project leader Bob, the man who loves Leader more than anyone, is also back. Leader is underway.
That's awesome, man.
The brilliant Brixham trawler design is immediately obvious. She can make way on what seems to be a completely windless day.
Heck yeah, man.
You can hardly feel a breeze. You think, how can as little breeze as that push a 120-ton trawler through the water? But look, we've been looking on your engine, about 5 knots earlier.
5 knots.
About 5 knots, you know, 120-ton trawler, a little breeze as that, still licking on at 5 knots. That's fair going, that.
While being a deckhand was all about hard graft, being a skipper was all about experience and skill. You found the best fish stocks by reading the waves and the colour of the sea. A good skipper was at one with the elements.
Can you feel where the wind's coming from?
More or less 12 o'clock.
Straight ahead? I wouldn't think so.
No?
No.
For the team of shipwrights who worked on Leader, this moment represents a real achievement.
It's part of the heritage, isn't it, really? You know, the fishing heritage. You know, it's not all about getting rid of the old and bringing in the new. You know, you've got to keep the old as well. And you get pride from seeing it here now and it's all working and it's all doing the job that it should be, you know? That's where you get the pride, because it's, well, sailing on the seas now, you know?
Yeah.
Plus it gives us 6 months' work.
Yeah. Everybody
happy
happy.
days. 2 weeks no beaver. Yeah.
Good to see her up and running.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the work that's been done to her, she's been needing it doing for a long time.
Yeah, but everyone's into
Job
it,
satisfaction there, they've made a good job of it, I must admit that.
Spot on.
And let's hope she'll go on for a lot of years.
Yeah, let's hope, eh?
Yeah.
Let's hope. Yeah, you love it though, don't you?
Good.
You do love it, don't you?
I'm bloody freezing, actually.
Please, keep it going.
Yeah, I think it's vitally important to keep these old girls going. We're an island nation, aren't we?
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
our nation was built on the seafarers that she produced.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, at 120 years old, the height of the empire,
Yeah.
this old girl was there helping to make that empire.
And still up and going now.
And still up and going now.
Yeah, job satisfaction for getting it going. But what does it for me more than anything is that it's still doing something useful now. It's not just a museum piece, it's not just a show piece. All right, we want trawling, because it's not used for that anymore. It takes young kids out to teach them about sailing, which I think is great.
Ready about?
You know what he's doing, yucking them bloody ropes, aren't you? You'd learn about life skills and all that, wouldn't you?
Okay.
Helms away.
Dealing with other folk in confined spaces, and you'd learn your sailing thing. Without being dead cheesy or anything, I think as much as we've learnt about what was all behind the Brixham trawlers and the fellas behind it and all that, yes, yeah, that was fantastic. But from what's going on and what that Brixham trawler is used for now, I think that's even better.
Next time, Guy reveals the hidden world of Victorian engineering beneath the nation's parks and gardens. From the ingenious water pump that doesn't require a power source
I didn't think it'd go as high as that.
to the precision manufacturing of the world's first lawnmower.
Let's go and kick some grass.
He'll also face his toughest engineering challenge yet, 19th century glass blowing.
I think we'll have another go. Yeah, let's have another go.
Hey,
All right.
man. That was awesome.
That was an awesome episode. To see that ship back out on the water, that's a hell of a thing, man.
That's an accomplishment, man.
And it's being put to good use, teaching those who want to learn about sailing.
You can't just talk about, let's say, a trade of the past without being willing to teach about it, teach it.
Right,
right. It's very important to keep those traditions alive. Very important. And I love that they have, embraced trying to spread that knowledge, making sure it doesn't die, because it's very easy, because it's hard work,
right,
to keep it around.
As technology gets more refined, it's important to remember where it all came from. It's part of the history of Britain in the industrial age.
Yep. And I love this series, dude. It's just what a great insight. What a great insight. It just adds another layer.
Yeah,
it just adds another layer. And I'm here for it, man.
Me too. We got one more in this one, and I guess people have already been leaving suggestions for new guy marking stuff between ETS and ETG. So we're here for it.
Oh, hell yeah, we are.
Yep. And thanks for watching, y'all. Somewhere to subscribe and watch another video. What now, Dan?
Unplug and do something epic, guys.
Exactly. See you next time.
Later.
Fellas, we can be that mistake. Let's do this.